I want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. Genesis chapter 21, verse 19 and Genesis chapter 21, verse 25. Is this the same well or two different wells? Why would Abraham worry about the well? Well, if memory serves me correctly, and I hope it does in this case, when you're in Genesis chapter 21, this is the well that whom we know as Ishmael and Hagar received of the Lord. Now, push pause there for just a moment. If you go back about 5 chapters to chapter 16 of the book of Genesis, you'll discover something fascinating about Ishmael. He was not the son of promise. He was not the one that God had ordained from Sarah because he came from Hagar, but nonetheless, he's the very first person in your Bible that God blesses. What does God do? He says he'll be a man of the wilderness. He'll be contrary to all other people and that he will be protected by the wilderness. That's important because the wilderness in biblical context is a desert. Don't think trees, think lots and lots of sand. Well, what do you need to live in a desert? You need water, an oasis, i.e., a well. And if memory serves me correctly, there in Genesis 21, God provided a well for Ishmael for his survival and his subsistence. Well, Abimelech comes along and his men, they go and they forcefully take the well. And whom we know as Abraham, he intercedes, not so much because he's protecting Ishmael, who technically is his biological son, but he is protecting what God has said. And I believe at the end of that chapter, it says something to the fact that this is named Beersheba, or the place where the Lord provides. So again, I believe that they were fighting over the same water opportunity in the middle of the wilderness, which is a desert in our context. God had given us provision, and what God has given, it needs to be sustained. So Abraham interfered or intervened, for lack of better terms, because Abimelech and the guys had interfered. Hopefully that clarifies a interesting story that really wasn't so much the provision of Ishmael as it was the provision of what God had stated on his behalf. Great question. Have one? Send to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question be tomorrow's. Thank you so much for being a part of our daily question here at the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. I want to encourage you on a few things. Number one, if you have a question to ask, submit it to AskJeff.net. Eventually, we'll get around to your question. Secondly, we'd encourage you to subscribe. That way, each and every day, Monday through Friday, you get a reminder of our question of the day. And last but not least, I want to remind you that on Wednesday evenings, live at First Baptist Church of Opelika, fbcopelika.com, we do a solid hour of Ask Jeff where we dig into the questions more than just 60 or 90 seconds. Sometimes we take the entire hour. All that being said, AskJeff.net is where you submit a question to this channel each and every day, Monday through Friday.